You're juggling a million things, your patience has evaporated, and you end most days feeling like you failed. You collapse into bed thinking, I yelled again, or I wasn't really there with them, or just, I'm not getting this right. But what if I told you the problem isn't that you're not trying hard enough? It's that you're stuck in 7 hidden traps that almost every overwhelmed parent falls into. These aren't your fault. They're deeply ingrained patterns that keep you looping in stress and guilt. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly what they are and give you the simple, science-backed scripts to break free, starting tonight. Let's be clear. Parenting is exhausting because it is exhausting, not because you're doing it wrong. The constant pressure, the money worries, the isolation, it's all real. In fact, studies confirm what we all feel. Parents are experiencing overwhelming stress at staggering rates. But the usual advice we get more self-care, or just be patient, it falls flat because it doesn't touch the root cause. The real problem is a few emotional habits we slide into without even noticing. As a parenting researcher, I've seen these patterns trip up the most loving, dedicated parents. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain. For each of these 7 mistakes, we'll look at how it shows up, why it quietly sabotages your family's well-being, and I'll give you a simple, actionable script you can use to change the dynamic immediately. Mistake number 1. Invalidating your child's emotions. The first hidden trap is one we fall into with the best intentions. We shut down our children's emotions. This sounds like, you're fine, it's not a big deal, or stop crying. We do it because we want to fix their pain and make it go away, fast. But what this actually does is send a dangerous message. It teaches kids that their feelings aren't real, trustworthy, or okay to have. Over time, this is associated with a higher risk for issues like anxiety and depression later in life, because it can seriously get in the way of them learning to manage their own emotions. Here's what's happening psychologically. When a child's feelings are dismissed, they learn to either stuff them down, leading to anxiety, or they get louder and more dramatic just to feel heard. The fix is a simple 3-part script. Validate, name, and limit. First, you show them the feeling is real. Second, you give it a name. And third, you hold the boundary if you need to. Instead of, you're okay, stop crying, try this script. I can see you're really upset that we have to leave the park. It makes sense to feel sad when you're having so much fun. It's okay to cry, and we can think of something to look forward to when we get home. You're not changing the fact that you have to leave, but you are completely changing your child's emotional experience. Mistake number 2, doing too much and rescuing. The second mistake is the signature move of the overwhelmed parent, doing too much for your child. This is packing their school bag when they're old enough to do it. It's instantly jumping in to solve a fight with a friend or redoing their homework, so it's perfect. We rescue them from every little struggle. We do it to be helpful, to save time, or to quiet our own anxiety about seeing them fail. But overhelping stops your child from building real competence and confidence. It's also an important contributor to parental burnout, because you've basically signed yourself up for 2 full-time jobs, yours and theirs. Psychologically, this creates a double whammy. Your child can develop learned helplessness, truly believing they can't solve problems on their own, and it feeds your own anxiety. Fixing it for them gives you a quick hit of relief, but it makes their long-term dependence and your long-term stress even worse. The fix is to shift from rescuing to guiding. I call it the 1-step delay. Before you jump in, just pause and prompt them to try first. Offer choices instead of solutions. Instead of rushing to tie their shoes, try this script. This looks tricky. Do you want to try it yourself first, or would you like my help? I'll be right here if you change your mind. This tiny shift gives them ownership and celebrates their effort, not just the perfect result. Mistake number 3, overprotecting and preventing all failure. This next one is a close cousin of rescuing, but it's driven more by fear. Overprotecting your child from any possible negative experience. This looks like banning them from a play structure that seems a little high or stopping them from navigating a minor squabble with a friend on their own. The intention is pure. You want to shield them from harm and disappointment. However, studies have linked overprotective parenting to higher rates of anxiety in children. When kids aren't allowed to face and overcome small challenges, they don't develop resilience, and the world starts to feel like a terrifying place. The mechanism here is that your avoidance can teach them to be anxious. You're modeling that the world is too dangerous for them to handle, and they never get that crucial experience of falling and realizing they can get back up. They start to fear the unknown because it's always been kept from them. The fix is to introduce what therapists call graded exposure. Allow for small, manageable risks and make a bigger deal out of celebrating how they recover from a mistake than preventing the mistake itself. Instead of saying, "No, don't ask them to play, you might get your feelings hurt. Try this script." It can feel scary to ask to join a game. How about you try for just 2 minutes? If it doesn't go well, you and I will come up with a plan together right after. This builds their bravery muscle in a safe, controlled way. Mistake number 4, inconsistency and lack of structure. The fourth trap is living in a state of reactive parenting. This is when rules are always changing, consequences are totally unpredictable, and there's no reliable routine. One day you let screen time slide for an hour. The next, you explode over an extra 5 minutes. This might feel easier in the moment, but for a child's developing brain, it's chaos. Kids need predictable structure to feel safe and to learn self-control. In fact, inconsistent boundaries are a significant risk factor for anxiety and oppositional behavior, because kids are constantly testing to figure out where the line actually is today. Psychologically, this unpredictability creates a state of high alert and anxiety. If a child doesn't know what to expect, they can never really relax. And you're accidentally training them to keep pushing, because they've learned that sometimes it works. The fix isn't about becoming a rigid drill sergeant. It's about choosing just 2 or 3 non-negotiable routines and sticking to them calmly. Bedtime, mealtime, or the morning routine are great places to start. Instead of a different reaction every time, create a predictable loop. Use a calm, matter-of-fact script like this. Our rule is that we put toys away before dinner. I see the blocks are still out. We can put them away together so we can eat. This isn't a punishment, it's just the reliable order of things. Mid-roll CTA. If any of this is hitting home, take a second and let me know in the comments which mistake you feel most trapped by. It's incredibly validating to see you're not the only one, and your comment might be exactly what another parent needs to see today. And if you're finding this helpful, please subscribe so you don't miss out on what's next. Mistake number 5, leading with criticism and comparison. This mistake is subtle but so corrosive, letting your go-to communication style be criticism, correction, or comparison. It's the, "Why can't you be more like your sister?" or focusing on the B on a test instead of the effort it took. When we're stressed, our brains are wired to spot problems, so we start pointing them out everywhere. But a constant drip of criticism and comparison wears away a child's self-worth. It switches their motivation from an internal drive to learn to an external need for approval. The psychological trap is that it teaches your child to connect their worth to their performance. They start to fear making mistakes, the very thing they have to do to learn. This creates kids who are either perfectionists, terrified of failure, or kids who give up easily because they think the outcome is all that matters. The fix is to consciously flip your focus from the outcome to the process. Praise their effort, their strategy, their persistence, not just the grade or the win. Replace should statements with curiosity. Instead of, "You should have scored more goals," try this script. "I noticed how hard you were working in that game, especially in that second half. You kept going even when you looked tired. What did that feel like for you?" This builds their internal sense of competence and value. Mistake number 6, parental emotional reactivity. This is the one. The mistake that floods parents with the most guilt. reacting with explosive anger, yelling, or getting sucked into power struggles. You promise yourself you'll stay calm, and then your child pushes that one last button, and you just lose it. It's a universal experience for overwhelmed parents, but it's a huge trap. While it might feel like a release for you, yelling can often be reinforcing for a child's brain. They learn that their behavior can get a huge, powerful reaction out of you. This dynamic harms attachment and dysregulates their nervous system. Here's how the cycle works. The child's behavior triggers your stress. You yell, which gives the child a massive dose of attention, even if it's negative. While acute, harsh interactions can spike stress hormones, we know that chronic, high-conflict environments are associated with altered stress hormone patterns in kids. It also teaches them that big, scary emotions are how you handle conflict. The fix is to have a pre-planned pause. Your goal isn't to never feel angry, but to have a plan for when you feel angry. Instead of yelling back, use a script that models self-regulation. I'm feeling my anger go way up and I can't talk about this right now. I'm going to take a minute in the other room to calm my body down. I will be back, and we will figure this out. And later, you repair. Mistake number 7. Projecting your anxiety and over-controlling. The final mistake is maybe the most hidden of all, projecting your own anxieties onto your child and over-controlling their world. This happens when your parenting choices are driven more by your fears than by your child's actual needs. It looks like micromanaging friendships, obsessing over their grades because you're scared they'll fall behind, or speaking for them in social situations. This robs your child of autonomy and can teach them to be anxious too. When a parent's anxiety is the lens through which a child sees the world, it can undermine their ability to trust their own judgment. The psychological trap is that your anxiety can become a roadmap for theirs. It increases the risk of them internalizing your worries, learning that uncertainty is something to be feared and avoided rather than a normal part of life. It also fuels parental resentment, because you're constantly fighting fears that don't even belong to your child. The fix is to consciously practice offering small choices and to ask yourself one key question. Is this about my child's need or my own fear? Giving 2 acceptable options gives them a sense of control and helps you practice letting go. Instead of making all the calls for them, try this simple script for everyday things. For your snack, would you like an apple or a banana? Both are great choices, you decide. It sounds almost too simple, but it's a micro-dose of autonomy. For bigger fears, you might say to yourself, I'm feeling anxious about this, but what does my child actually need from me right now? So there you have it, the 7 hidden traps that keep so many of us stuck. Invalidating emotions, rescuing, overprotecting, being inconsistent, leading with criticism, reacting in anger, and projecting our own anxiety. Seeing these patterns isn't about adding another layer of guilt to your plate. It's the exact opposite. As parenting expert Dr. Becky Kennedy says, our kids don't need perfect parents. They need parents who can repair. Recognizing these traps is the first step. It's not about never making these mistakes again. You will. We all will. The goal is to catch yourself a little sooner, to repair a little faster, and to choose a different path just one more time than you did yesterday. The goal isn't perfection. It's awareness and connection. By changing these small patterns, you're not just easing your own overwhelm, you are fundamentally rewiring your child's emotional development for the better. If you want to put these ideas into practice, I've created a free 1-page cheat sheet with all 7 mistakes and their scripts that you can download using the link in the description. It's a simple reminder you can put on your fridge for those really tough moments. And if this video was helpful, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We're building a community of parents choosing connection over perfection, and I'd love for you to be a part of it. You've got this.
If you're feeling overwhelmed, I made something for you. Grab my free Calm in the Chaos guide, link in bio.